Most people know Robert De Niro as the greatest actor of his generation, a man who won 2 Oscars before he was 40. But behind the scenes, De Niro was running a script that Hollywood had never seen before. While his peers were buying private islands and Ferraris, De Niro was buying dilapidated warehouses in Lower Manhattan. While other stars were signing endorsement deals for watches, he was spending 4 years chasing a Japanese chef to build a sushi empire. Today, Robert De Niro isn't just an actor. He's a hospitality titan with a net worth of $500 million and an empire that spans 50 restaurants, 30 luxury hotels, and a real estate portfolio that transformed New York City. This is the breakdown of the De Niro strategy and how he turned movie checks into a multi-billion-dollar business legacy. In the 1970s, at the dawn of his career, Robert De Niro was earning far less than his legendary status might suggest. For his era-defining performances in The Godfather Part 2 and Taxi Driver, he was paid a mere $35,000 per film. To put that into perspective, his contemporary Al Pacino was already commanding $500,000 for Dog Day Afternoon. After a 50% tax rate and agent commissions, De Niro's take-home pay plummeted to a modest $15,000. De Niro was objectively underpaid, but he wasn't playing for immediate cash. He was playing for cultural equity. Throughout the 70s and 80s, he meticulously invested in his reputation. By cementing his status as a premier A-list talent, he gained the leverage to demand exponentially more. By the 1990s, his quotes soared to $10 million per project. However, a fundamental problem remained. Taxes swallowed nearly half of his earnings, and agents, lawyers, and managers took their share of the rest. Suddenly, a $10 million paycheck dissolved into $5 million in actual liquidity. It was then that De Niro reached a pivotal realization. Cinema can make you a millionaire, but it cannot build an empire. He understood that an actor, no matter how famous, is ultimately just an employee. In the world of Hollywood, if you aren't on set, the cash flow stops. To achieve true compounding wealth, he had to stop being the talent and start being the owner. In 1989, Robert De Niro took his first step toward true equity by co-founding Tribeca Productions with Jane Rosenthal. He shifted the power dynamic of his career. He was no longer just the talent on screen. He was the owner of the projects.
I've been producing, and I have this film center that I've been very much involved with in New York.
Was it Tribeca?
Tribeca.
The company went on to produce hits like A Bronx Tale, Meet the Parents, and The Irishman, proving that De Niro could successfully manage the means of production. In the late 80s, the triangle below Canal Street, or Tribeca, was a desolate industrial zone of empty lofts. Where others saw a ghost town, De Niro saw an opportunity for gentrification through culture. As a regular at the restaurant Montrachet, De Niro struck up a friendship with restaurateur Drew Nieperent. In 1990, they opened Tribeca Grill. De Niro's strategy was brilliant. He used his celebrity status to turn the restaurant into a clubhouse for the Hollywood elite. By drawing media attention to a forgotten neighborhood, he artificially inflated the value of the real estate he was quietly acquiring. Following the 9/11 attacks, when Lower Manhattan faced an economic collapse, De Niro and Rosenthal launched the Tribeca Film Festival. This wasn't just a cultural event, it was a massive economic stimulus package. As the neighborhood surged back to life, property values skyrocketed. Buildings that were worth $5 million soon commanded $30 million. De Niro wasn't just running businesses. He was the primary beneficiary of the area's reconstruction. He further solidified this local monopoly in 2008 by opening the Greenwich Hotel, an 88-room luxury sanctuary, and the acclaimed Italian restaurant Locanda Verde a year later. Every new venture he launched in Tribeca multiplied the value of his previous investments. If Tribeca was the foundation, Nobu was the rocket ship. This partnership highlights De Niro's greatest business trait, extreme patience. In 1987, De Niro dined at Chef Nobu Matsuhisa's tiny LA restaurant and was floored by the cuisine. He immediately invited Nobu to open a place in New York. Nobu declined, wanting to focus on his current shop. Most stars would have moved on, but De Niro waited. He checked in periodically for 4 years until 1994, when Nobu finally agreed. They teamed up with Meir Tepper, a producer and investor who understood the financial architecture of global scaling. The roles were clear. Nobu created the product, Tepper built the business framework, and De Niro provided the capital, the brand prestige, and the elite network. The first Nobu opened in New York in 1994 and redefined the lifestyle brand. It offered minimalism, high price points, and most importantly, exclusivity. It became a place where celebrities dined and the public clamored to get in. By the late 90s, the expansion began in London, Las Vegas, Tokyo, and Dubai. Nobu evolved from a restaurant into a global hospitality juggernaut. In 2013, the first Nobu Hotel opened inside Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas. Today, the empire boasts 56 restaurants and nearly 40 hotels in prestigious locations like Santorini, Rome, and Malibu. The financial scale is staggering. In 2015, billionaire James Packer's Crown Resorts bought a 20% stake for $100 million, valuing the company at $500 million. By 2024, after Blackstone acquired that stake, the valuation reached even greater heights. With hundreds of millions in annual revenue, De Niro's share of the net profits provides him with the liquid assets necessary to fund his lifestyle and further investments. Beyond his established ventures, De Niro's ambitions continue to expand. His latest project on the island of Barbuda, the Nobu Beach Inn Resort, is valued at a staggering $250 million. Spanning 400 acres, the actor, alongside billionaire James Packer, is creating an exclusive enclave for the world's wealthiest individuals. The financial strategy behind the project relies on the sale of elite villas, with prices starting at $12 million. Additional revenue will be driven by high-end suites and bungalows costing several $1,000s per night. To secure the success of this investment, De Niro negotiated unprecedented concessions from the government of Antigua and Barbuda. The project has been granted a full 25-year tax holiday, maximizing net profits for the partners. To support the resort's logistical needs, a new international airport capable of handling private jets was opened on the island. This decision transformed a previously neglected territory into an asset with massive capital growth potential. Despite legal disputes with local communities, De Niro maintains his status as a special economic envoy for the region. The official opening of the complex in late 2026 is expected to be a milestone in the growth of his business empire. This project vividly demonstrates how De Niro converts his name into large-scale infrastructure assets and long-term profit. By the early 2000s, Robert De Niro had fully shifted his trajectory. From being the premier actor of his generation, he transformed into one of Hollywood's most efficient business machines. With salaries of $15 to $20 million for projects like Meet the Fockers or Analyze That, he stopped chasing Oscars. Today, cinema for De Niro is primarily a source of stable cash flow. Acting has become a tool for scaling his business empire and replenishing liquid assets. This is why he approaches monumental Scorsese films and mainstream comedies with the same professionalism. For him, it is not a matter of reputation, but a matter of funding new investment projects. However, owning an empire of this magnitude inevitably carries colossal risks and obligations. De Niro's financial history is far from flawless. Behind the facade of a successful investor lie multi-million-dollar debts and protracted conflicts with the state. In 2015, the actor found himself at the center of a scandal when the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, issued a $6.4 million bill for unpaid personal income taxes. De Niro's representatives attempted to justify this with a curious argument that tax notices had been sent to the wrong address for years. The true depth of these issues surfaced in 2021 during a high-profile divorce proceeding with Grace Hightower. De Niro's lawyers made a shocking statement. The 77-year-old actor was forced to work at a breakneck pace to cover accumulated tax arrears and loan debts. According to the court's decision, De Niro is obligated to pay his ex-wife $1 million annually until she remarries, or one of them passes away. Furthermore, following the $20 million sale of their shared home, he must provide her with half of that amount to purchase a new residence. The COVID-19 pandemic nearly brought his hospitality and restaurant network to a collapse. At the height of the crisis, De Niro's empire suffered catastrophic losses of up to $3 million per month. To keep Nobu and the Greenwich Hotel afloat, the companies had to secure emergency loans and even request government assistance through business support programs. Despite his movie star image, De Niro does not spend his wealth on fleeting glamour. His expenses are investments in personal security, massive infrastructure, and family comfort. The actor's primary sanctuary is a 98-acre estate in Gardiner, New York. This is not just a house, but a vast territory, featuring 2 guest cottages, a private forest, and a main mansion exceeding 1,300 square meters. Maintaining such a property, including security and domestic staff, costs hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. In New York City itself, De Niro prefers ultra-luxury rentals, or penthouses. During the divorce, it was revealed that he occupied a Central Park West penthouse valued at $25.5 million, where rent and carrying costs alone amounted to $125,000 per month. De Niro deeply values his time. For long-distance travel, he utilizes a Gulfstream G550 and business jet. Family vacations are conducted with equal grandeur. De Niro often charters the Arctic P, a massive super yacht converted from an icebreaker. Renting this vessel, along with its crew, costs approximately $450,000 to $500,000 per week. As of 2026, De Niro remains one of the busiest actors in the industry. His schedule is booked several projects in advance, including the Netflix political thriller 0 Day. In interviews, the actor admits he simply has no time to retire. He needs to sustain a massive business empire and raise his youngest daughter, Gia, born in 2023. Now, 82, the actor spends much of his free time with his daughter and his partner, Tiffany Chen. Unlike many of his peers, De Niro is not interested in golf and rarely appears at social galas. His interests are deeper and more pragmatic. As the son of the renowned expressionist painter Robert De Niro Sr., he spends significant sums preserving his father's legacy. For decades, he has paid the rent and maintenance for his father's studio in Soho, keeping it as a time capsule for his children. Furthermore, De Niro is obsessed with the aesthetics of his hotels. He personally participates in the urban planning of his properties, selecting wood types for finishes, lighting, and architectural details for the Greenwich Hotel in New York or his new resort in Barbuda. For him, wealth is not an opportunity to do nothing, but a resource that allows him to control every aspect of his life and business. Robert De Niro's financial legacy serves as a masterclass for any high earner looking to build generational wealth. His trajectory offers 3 vital strategic pillars. Never settle for a mere salary. Strive to own the means of production. By shifting from a hired gun to a stakeholder, he ensured his earnings were no longer tied solely to his time. Deeply understand the industries you invest in. De Niro didn't just diversify. He identified successful niches and aggressively scaled them only after the model was proven. Avoid the first mover trap. He famously waited for the right partner, found in Nobu Matsuhisa, rather than rushing into the first available expansion deal. This patience ensured the longevity and prestige of his brand. Robert De Niro may have built a career playing gangsters, boxers, and outcasts, but his most enduring role was the one played away from the spotlight, the architect of an empire.
I have no complaints whatsoever.
If you enjoyed this financial breakdown, hit the subscribe button and let me know which celebrity empire we should look into next.